How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I was just, I don't know. Donna called me on my voice where she texts me usually. So I don't
Mhm.
know. Then I had to change the settings and I didn't get her. Um, so let me just say. Then I got a thing from Sure that said Zoom us. So she's out with Erica and Christina at Erica's place. I said, where are they? And anyway, I don't know. I'll just send the link. We'll see.
Oh, well, I'm just in from Arts Council.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, brilliant. Wow, what happened? And
Uh, they said, okay, start from today. And
wow,
yeah,
exciting.
and it is about social media update and respond, like give people, answer people's query and post,
Oh,
make
query.
post on, yeah, and make post on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter also.
Wow. All right, very cool. So that's work at home stuff then.
No, I have
Oh,
to be here.
I see. Oh, wow, interesting. Interesting. So the negotiations and it's a paying thing, obviously, I'm assuming.
Yes, yes, it is
And
a paying thing,
and,
and
and
also pick and drop for me.
they can what?
They will pick me and drop me also at my
Oh,
home.
pick you up
So,
and drop you off. Ah, right.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So that's kind of nice that you got transport. That's very handy. And
This is what I always asked for them. Like, okay, I can't go out by my own. So I
yeah.
said, I always say that I'm not asking you anything, but just give me pick and drop. So
Ah,
this time they were so sure, without even asking. They said, okay, Beena, you will get pick and drop.
wow.
And
Wow. Well,
so
that's cool, Beena. That's cool. And
yeah.
then I'm assuming that it's on the honorarium then still, or
Oh yes, yes.
okay, okay, all right. Well, hey, little by little, right?
Oh yes.
Brilliant, Beena. Brilliant. That's exciting. And then, how often is this, and what times?
Oh, timings. I like it will be on from now on till 8th of December.
Ah, right. And then, what times?
Like from 11 till 7.
Ah, okay. Ah, that's good times then. That's perfect timing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. All right. So, wow. Oh, perfect. Perfect. So, exactly the times that we don't communicate. Pretty
Oh
much.
yes, oh yes, exactly.
It's exactly the right time. So, and a bit of time for transport and eating in between, and everything's perfect. So,
Yes,
is that Donna? Ah, brilliant.
sure.
Oh, it's sure. It's also brilliant. Where are you now, sure?
Ah, Donna also here.
Brilliant. Hello, Donna. We're just
Hey
getting a
guys,
hello, sure. Where are you now?
Hi.
we just left Amarillo, Texas. No, Albuquerque. Wait, I don't know. Rex can say. We're on the way to Albuquerque. You want to hold it?
Hey,
Hey, how
hi,
are you?
Christina. Yeah, yeah. I'm always nervous when people drive and use the phone. So, hello,
Okay,
hello,
well I'll
hello.
do it.
Brilliant. Where are you guys now, Christina?
We think we're in Albuquerque.
Wow. So you're Albuquerque. So that's like what, another 6-8 hours to us, more or less.
Oh no, about probably about 5 or 6.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure.
We're not, I mean, it's not that bad. We're still planning on, around the. Well, let me see. We've got 10 o'clock or 10:19 right now.
Yeah. 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 So that's not.
Yeah, about 8. This is 8.
Yeah. Like 4 o'clock our time, 4-5 o'clock. Yeah. So that's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I go back 2 hours. Oh, okay. I forgot about the time change. Yeah. Never mind. We'll be there
Yeah.
around then.
Yeah, we won now. It's 9:14 here with us now. So either way, that's 3-4 o'clock our time. So that's perfect.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. We here, so you come whenever you come. It's all good. It's all good. No worries.
Okay.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. You had fun at Erica's
We'll be
place.
there as soon as possible.
Yeah.
What was that about Erica?
I said, did you have fun with Erica? It seemed like it, yeah.
Yes, we did. She has a very nice, welcoming, warming home.
She does.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, I figured.
Yeah.
I
Joe's
figured
wonderful.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, good. Ah, brilliant. Brilliant.
Give me
Brilliant.
Ajay.
What's that? Oh. Ah.
No, I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Ah, that's good to hear about Joe. Yeah, he gives me hope for guys everywhere. So, you know, he's a good guy.
Oh yeah, they're good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
brilliant.
good people.
Brilliant.
Okay, well, who else on? Because I didn't say hello.
Just Beena. Donna was here, but she dropped off, so she probably.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
Hi, Beena. Good morning.
Yeah.
Hi, Sheila.
We
Good
just,
morning
Hey,
and
how
happy
are you?
traveling. It is so exciting to see you and Christina together. And
Yeah.
I miss Erika. I
yeah.
met,
No, I put it. Yeah, I
okay.
put up a video of the three of us together. And we
Okay.
started laughing about the dogs, and we just couldn't stop. So,
Okay.
yeah, it was
I'll
just.
watch later.
It was nice. So, yeah, I think I posted it on my page, the three of us. So.
Okay. I'll watch.
Okay.
I'll watch it. It's really
I'm
nice and
gonna get back.
exciting to see you guys together with Sil and Olivia. It will be a treat. It will be a treat.
yes.
Yes.
Fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. We'll have to get together and do a call with you.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
yes.
we
yes.
will.
I would love to.
When we do the workshop, we'll just do it as a Zoom as well. So.
Okay.
That works.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that
my
works.
morning.
Most exciting. Let me sit more upright here. Gosh, lazy this morning. So good. Brilliant. Well, I'm
Okay.
assuming. Yeah. All right. We'll chat to you later then. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Jenny.
Go ahead. Oh, here, do leave. There you go.
There you go. All right. Brilliant. Come back, Donna. I just texted her again saying, so just checking in. And she messaged back. Yay, that'll be great. All right, very good. I'm not sure on what, but we'll see. Oh, my window's all cockeyed. That's exciting though about the Arts Council. That's really fun.
It is for 15 days. And,
Yeah.
We will see later what will come out of it.
Yeah. So besides the social media, what else will you be doing?
They're saying that they are calling it content writing, but I'm not sure what they mean by about.
Yes, Donna again. Brilliant. Hello, Donna.
Okay. Hi, Donna. Oh, she's mute.
No. There we go. I don't know if audio is kind of odd. You there, Donna?
I'm here.
Okay.
Good.
Hi.
We weren't hearing you. Hello. Brilliant. Morning, Donna. Morning. I don't know. Just I love the Friday mornings. They just make me very happy. So just I texted her. I said, "Where are you now?" And then she said, "Zoom," to check in via Zoom. So all right, so it's kind of interesting. Yeah. So they'll be here this afternoon sometime. So
That's exciting.
Yeah, different. So I was surprised. I didn't realize that she had brought her son with. So I said, when she never mentioned that before, I just said, her and Christina. Well, it's her, Christina, the son and the grandson and the dog. So I said, hey, you're welcome to stay here, but I'm assuming they found a place to stay. I don't know. We'll see. And CJ can sleep in the living room. We have sofa beds there. So anyway, just interesting. Yeah, I didn't know. You just intrigues me that it wasn't mentioned unless it was a late minute change of plan. I don't know. You know, it's kind of a different thing. But anyway, what's been happening? Beena's been at the Art Council, and she's going to start working there at the Arts Council. So
Nice. What are you going to be doing, Beena?
Before, actually, I volunteered, and then I was assisting some. You know that I was assisting some actress and the star. But
Yeah.
now, when they call for a volunteer, because there is an Urdu conference, 12th Urdu annual conference is holding in here in Karachi. It's an international event, and people from all over the world come, and they read papers, they read poetry, and they do theater and music and painting and lots of stuff. So Arts Council, actually, they called me and they said, okay, just come as volunteer. And today I went just to talk about the work's nature, job nature and situation. But they said, okay, no, Beena, you are just doing from right now on. And you will, yeah, and just handle social media, like responding on Twitter, posting on FB, Twitter, Instagram, and do some content writing, which I'm not sure what about the content writing, but we'll see. It looks interesting, because the first time what I did was really physically tiring job, because I had to like move around for like 12 hours continuously, just running here and there.
Wow.
So this time I'm just sitting in their office and using laptop, and that's all.
Well, content writing would be like to give perspectives on things and just to give a broader view and say, okay, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, and also just to put it in a bit of a broader context to say, oh, Urdu language is it's derived from this, it has prominence here, it's applicable here, stuff like that,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I will
things interesting.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Wow, it's
for
exciting.
For next 15 days till 8th or 9th of December.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we continuing?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So let me pull that up and then do screen share. What's about you, Donna? What's been happening for you?
Nothing unusual. Just
nothing unusual. Very good. Very good. Very good. Exciting living, in other words. Right? Isn't that the usual? Something exciting going on. I'm in screen share and to reset to the beginning. I was going to just go to the end thing in session 1. Okay. So then write down your personal intent for doing this program and your life intent. So any thoughts on that before we go to session 2? Just any shift in your intent or rephrasing of your intent? I mean, my current intent right now, my overall intent is always learning and growing, living in attunement. And then application. So learning and growing is application. It's kind of the same thing for me, really. We learn and we grow through application, but if you don't have that little loop going between application and learning and growing, nothing really happens. So it's very important to apply what you're doing, and through the application, one learns and grows. So for me, doing the Wave Impeccability program is application. The implementation of it is application for me. And of course, also learning and growing. It's a nice little marvelous circle. But then other applications would be to feel the sobriety more, and to they're continually working on feeling in the body to feel independence of being. That's very important. That I work on every single day to get to that feeling of independence of being. It's very important, very powerful. And then, of course, also to feel silence rather than to, because I don't think you can think silence. So the only way you can, because then you're thinking about silence, so you can't. So you have to feel it. Yeah.
Yep.
I was telling Donna. I was telling Beena about the silence, Donna. In the daily meditation where I'm feeling the different parts in the body and, feeling where there's a knot and then replacing that tension, repurposing it with something else with a particular intent or just balancing the body and just feeling it, getting itself to a space where it's that independence of being feeling, I guess. But also I added into that to feel or to listen to where there's internal dialogue. Now we can talk in different ways to ourselves. We can sub-vocalize, and then it's in the throat. You can think something with your with your forebrain. And it's a different awareness. And then the thinking will be over here. Sometimes it's in the back of the head. Right here in the top back of the head, top of the neck, kind of thing. So then I was focusing on wherever the internal dialogue or the thinking was coming from, and I was going there in the same way as I do with the body. And you put the attention on the spot, and it kind of it releases, it relaxes, it changes. So I was using that to silence wherever the thinking or the talking was coming from inside the head. It was just kind of interesting. I guess inside the body too. So it's interesting exercise. It's pretty cool actually. So just something that I'm working on, which is that same intent though, is to perceive energy directly and to develop the ability to develop that internal silence, to switch off the world, in other words. Very important. So how about you, Beena?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm asking about your personal intent for doing the program and your life intent. Either way, any intent really. Since we on the just to recap and just to refocus what our intents are.
Okay. It was for me for the most important thing was not only making the obvious, but also looking and it is like making the obvious not only for others but for myself also. This is something I was also lacking and I was missing, that I need that. So now when I am making my intent, even just setting my intent daily, I am making it obvious for myself, because no more like general things, but wants to be really specific. And I'm practicing it because this is what I was lacking, and it creates a lot of misunderstandings. So for me, again, it's not like now, but it is for a month now, that making the obvious is my kind of theme for intent.
Yes, because it's an awareness exercise, so it's very powerful to be aware. Yes, I agree. Yeah. That's very powerful, very powerful. And it's an application as well, so it's very cool. Very cool. It encompasses everything. It's the same when I say learning and growing or living in attunement. It's kind of the same thing. To make the obvious of what's the pattern and the flow of just our lives, or my life. For me, that's very powerful. It's very important. So making that obvious. Yes, making that obvious, because that's an obvious that is around us, but we just have to pay attention to make it obvious. Very powerful. Very powerful. Donna? Hello.
In adding to the things that you said, only thing that I really had that was different from my perspective is for my being is to add, to include play and having fun.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I
Joy.
need, for me, to bring in,
Yes. Yes.
for me, it's
Yes.
really important. I tend to be so sober.
Yes, thank you. You reminded me. I also set that intent, and yes, I do wish to add joy and play, or to bring it more to the fore. It is there, but to bring it
Right.
more to the fore, to make
Exactly.
that my default rather than the sobriety and the earnestness as a default. So yes, absolutely.
Ah,
All right.
interesting.
Yes, yes, very
Interesting.
important. Very important point. Yes, yes.
Yes,
There's no
it
reason
is.
why we cannot accomplish the exact same learning and growth, but in a joyful, fun, playful way. No reason.
Exactly.
We'll start with exactly that. So this one, specific practices, we may even go through this fairly quickly, because this was just a summation of, what potentialities there are. It's just kind of like to say, okay, this and this, it just to open the doors, as it were, to what's going on. What follows are some specific practices, as you will be doing, not just hearing or listening, but doing, or reading, I should say. All right. Okay, taking notes, constant journal. So I'm going to go real quick. I'm just, as a warrior, we need intelligence, information. So we need, just to. So actual application is a doing which transcends another great enemy, belief, and believing we know because it makes sense to us. That I would say also is kind of an intent, just to check my default beliefs on a regular basis. That's very important. Why am I doing? What is the root underlying in terms of why I'm doing a particular behavior or set of behaviors? And to check the deep belief, it's kind of a powerful thing. So I'm not sure what it's doing inside here, but if we aren't doing and living and feeling the consequences and implications of our realizations, they're meaningless, which means we have to make our realizations and understandings a new habit. Yes, that's just what we were talking about. This is why we battle a habit, right? But conquer habits so thoroughly that we can institute new habits we choose at will and change them as needed. This is power living. And to me, this picture is a kind of a blend of Donna and Beena. The two of you together. I like it. That's a nice picture. But play, what you'll be doing is to get to that point where you can thoroughly explain each PowerPoint of knowledge. Only once we can explain something adequately in our own terms does it fully become ours. This is the point and purpose of your homework, to re-explain what you've come to know and understand for the purpose of checking and mastering your own understanding. So this is huge. I mean, we've been doing this, but be kind of cool to get focused on just maybe every time we connect to say, okay, let's just go over a couple of entries in the dictionary of power, and then just each time, maybe get a little bit of a focus on re-explaining it, just for that practice of articulating it. We are kind of doing that, but just to be a bit more deliberate on it. All right, so yeah, well, don't worry too much. We don't ask that many questions, but it's useful to write down the questions as well as the answer. And this is important. Look for multiple answers as much as possible. This is very important. Very important. We tend to default to just looking for an answer when usually there's more than one, right?
Right.
All right, same thing. Constantly look at matters from as many perspectives as possible. This has to become a new habit. I like this bubbles picture. I like this. Multiple perspectives. And, just the other sort of implication that perspectives are bubbles, so we want to be looking at that overview perspective, which is to see the bubbles. Yeah, okay, it might just be that we're in the biggest bubble of it all, which is still the bubble of description of internal dialogue. So I think that's when we we stop the internal dialogue, we collapse this entire huge, humongous big bubble that includes all the other bubbles. But yeah, to get into that habit of multiple perspectives, very powerful habit. Yeah, you'll become a bit obsessed with changing your old habits and institute new habits, overbending. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to be, otherwise
it is not obsessed with.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, it is a bit obsessed. Yeah.
Because yeah, it is not like I'm every day I'm applying new things. No.
Why?
For me, it is like keep emphasizing on one thing.
Yes.
Till it becomes like second nature or maybe nature.
Exactly. That's the thing, you know, with whichever habit you're on, you like really get immersed in it, and then you overbend, and then it comes, and then okay, next one. So yeah. So it's a temporary obsession. Make sure to understand emphasis, how it works, and its power. I think we do that already, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's another intent that also set lately very specifically is to pay attention to attention. I'm actually very, very conscious now of just my everyday ordinary thinking, and I was kind of keen to do this at some point where we come on and it's just okay, we just kind of saying, all right, let's assume we're doing our ordinary things, and you know, okay, we'll just imagine, Donna, you're in the office, or Beena, well, you now in your new job, or you're just kind of doing your things around the family, you're making roti or whatever. What are you thinking about? What are you focused on? And to just kind of do a verbal expression of what's going on inside our head. So you do your normal things, and you know, kind of just let some time go to get into that space, and then we express what's going on. I'm paying very close attention to what I'm paying attention to in those times, because I find it's quite significant. And like you've been saying, Donna, you know, those thoughts, they tend to come into the world. Yeah.
Yeah. And when something that I've done that it's proven really interesting, actually, when I tried to be more focused on my attention and what that internal dialogue was, I saw a lot of it was future oriented, and that didn't always serve me well. So to shift that, I tried to literally verbalize exactly what I was doing all day long.
Wow.
I'm making coffee now. I'm pouring in the water.
Wow. Wow.
And actually what that did for me, it shifted. It really has helped me focus on just being in the moment. Because everybody kept saying, be in the moment, be in the moment.
You just gave me a fabulous idea, though. That's why when you said, I'm doing that, to say, I'm making coffee now, but now let's just add modifiers on. I'm making coffee with joy. I'm making coffee deliberately. I'm making coffee with power. I'm making coffee with energy. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I add whatever word I'm feeling.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But to add in the ones that I deliberately wish to feel. I'm making coffee as a game.
When I'm taking a shower, for example, it goes exactly. I get a lot of power when I take a shower.
Wow.
Shower, and this warm water on cascading on, and I also practice my dialogue of description, which helps me be very deliberate.
Wow. And I'm assuming you dance in the shower. I don't know. It just feels like that, you know. If not physically, because it might be dangerous, but
no, physically too.
Brilliant. I love it. I love that. This exercise. Wow, I'm just adding that to my things now, because I think if we get into that space of verbally articulating what we are doing moment to moment, it not only gives us that clarity about what we are doing and bringing us into the present, but when we add those descriptives, it shifts us to that deliberate living. Because if I say, I am doing this, and I'm saying it, wow, now I'm doing it deliberately, yes?
It just automatically happens too. It's kind of magical.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you describe it like the shower, for example. I'll go a little further with that. So, you know, most people take their shower and they're going through, what am I going to do today, and my checklist and all that. And my showers are a totally different experience. I'm not saying they're better. Just for me, they're different. And how it goes is like, I literally, when I first started, I could hardly like feel the water on me. It's kind of strange, but you know, you feel it. But after you like really focus, like that's just the first part I took. Okay, I really am going to feel the water on my body, on my head, and then draping down my shoulders. And oh, it's so warm. Doesn't that bring me joy? It feels so good. I'm happy. I love this warm water. I'm so grateful. Whoever invented shower heads, I'm so grateful because I have it. I mean, you know, you go and you flow, and so a shower all of a sudden is something magical versus just getting clean.
Sorry. On my magical 1, 2, 3, 4, I got a little mini swarm of birdies outside. Yeah. You know, I don't often see more than 1 or 2 in the tree, but there was like 4 or 5 in there all at once. So very exciting, very exciting. This is most, I love this. Say again, Beena?
This is the perfect meditation.
Yes, yes. But this is a meditation of mindfulness throughout the entire day. So now if we add to that, I'm making coffee mindfully. I'm making coffee with deliberate joy. I'm making coffee and being aware of my environment at the same time. You know, now we can really leverage this process. This is a fantastic procedure.
I had to come up with a process so that I could figure out what words meant. So things like be mindful. Oh, what's that mean?
Exactly.
Live in the moment. Well, how the heck do I do that?
Application.
Right. And I had to figure it out for me because other people would, it was just, nobody really could answer. I'd be like, well, how do you live in the moment? Quit saying that. Just tell me how you do it.
I agree. I agree.
These real abstract, if at all, answers. And it wasn't as though I was, you know, angry with them for not being able to articulate it. But what it did was it made me a bit frustrated, to be honest.
Yes. Oh, I agree.
But I leveraged that frustration because I was like, okay, if you can't give me the answers, then obviously, duh, I have to figure this out for myself. So
yes. And this is
like I narrated the whole day and I added the words I wanted to feel. And then all of a sudden now I go in the shower and the feeling is there. I don't have to narrate. I'm washing my hair. I'm taking the cap off of the shampoo. I don't have to do as much of that.
Right. But also, you know, I think in deliberately narrating initially, in doing it so specifically, it becomes a focusing mechanism, and we realize how much shit we think that we don't need to think.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right. So by implication, it says, you know what, I don't need, because I think that we run a secondary internal program, you know, like the background programs in the computer.
Yes, I do.
But I think we run many of those because we feel like we kind of should, because we don't know, and we have this kind of uncertainty. But making this descriptive gives us a certainty that we don't need the others, that we can be in the present and now, and we don't need to worry about other stuff. So I think this is very important, because sometimes the bureaucrats, when you show them the alternative, they say, okay, we don't need that anymore, and it just falls away. But until they actually shown the alternative, they don't know it exists. And then they have that uncertainty, which makes them do things like that. So this is a very, very powerful exercise. Wow. What incredible emphasis.
If I'm getting it right, Donna shifted that mindfulness and be and live in the moment concept from activities to intent.
Right.
But also to articulate the intent and to emphasize the nounness through articulation.
But the emphasis and the nounness, though, was the application of intent.
Correct. Yes, was an application of intent, the intent to be in the moment now. Yeah.
Right.
And to be mindful. Yeah.
For me, I can't have just words.
I agree.
I have to have processes. I have to have things that work for me that is like, okay, live in the moment. So how do I get there?
Yeah.
Because, and then not only did I do that, I kind of evaluated my day, because I have very much Miss A, like you have Mr. A. And so I like broke down my day and thought about where are the moments where I'm just all over the place. Like my mind's just going, right?
Yeah,
So I thought about when I'm washing dishes, when I'm taking a shower, when I'm walking the dog. So anyway, I identified some, moments in my day that are pretty consistent. And then I tried to leverage those situations to be very, very mindful and to have the narrative and to include the power terms that I had for myself that I wanted to experience. And when I did that long enough, it did. I don't know the mechanics of it, and I don't care anymore. I don't need to know. I used to need to know everything. It bogs me down too much. So all I know is it shifted it. And now I can get in the shower and it's like that water hits me and I'm like, joy.
I love it. I love it. You know, what else you've done is because this is, this came up under emphasis. So, of course, you're emphasizing what you choose to emphasize, but you've actually reassociated things through emphasis. Through the deliberate application of the verbalized narrative, you have reassociated things. Because look, with the shower, it's automatic joy, because I can't say joy the way you do. I love it. It's fantastic the way you say it. It's just magical. But that reassociation, that is just magical. That's the power. So what you've done here, if we go back a couple of slides now, you've absolutely shifted your habits. And you've developed a very powerful mechanism for habit shifting.
It worked for me.
Oh, it will work for anybody. That's why I'm so excited. It's an incredible technique. And I hear you, Donna. For me, the application, I want the detailed step now. I don't want just the stuff out there. It's a detailed step
There's
now.
There's too much of that. And there's just so much out there where these concepts are thrown around, and then people are frustrated, and then they give up. And we got to go beyond that. We got to that boundary. We got to figure out something people can try out and see if it works. And if it doesn't, we regroup and we try something else. If that doesn't, and I will say though that in that process, what's really cool is the person can individualize it. It's just like, okay, first of all, let's sit back and say, what are the points in your day that your mind kind of wandering and all over the place, and take those first. And then really focus on every detail of that particular situation, what you're doing. You're washing the dish, and I didn't come up with this concept. This isn't Donna's concept. Okay. This is out there. I just stole it and I tried it. And it's like, I kind of tweaked it a little bit to work for me. And I tweaked it in the words that I used. And I tweaked it to, what are the feelings I want to feel in my body, in my head, in my heart? What do I want to feel?
I love it.
And then once I identified that, everybody can do that. What do you want to feel when you're in the shower? Sil, what do you want to feel when you're in the shower?
So look, you applied a whole bunch of power terms. You applied self-leverage, yes?
Oh, yeah.
And you applied clarity of intent, because you wanted to be clear about what it is, where your points of energy, energy management. You said, where's my energy being dissipated? Where is it being lost in the day, right?
Yeah. Where's it being focused on?
Exactly.
Right.
And you applied making it your own. You took this more or less of a concept from somewhere, and you said, I'm going to make it my own. I'm going to make my own in terms of living in the moment, being mindful. I'm going to make it my own. And this is what you did. So you applied those power conceptions from the abstract point of view. Yeah?
Yes, my mind does that easily. And so I'm going to leverage that.
Yeah, right. Because look at leverage. I mean, man, how often, Beena, right? Donna was saying leverage every second word almost, right? Leverage, like actually leveraged it, which is huge. It's a powerful shift. It's a really incredible leverage again. It's very exciting. Wow, this is really
Yes.
fantastic. I'm very excited because so much, again, if I were to go through, you applied association management, energy management, all sorts of things, and attention to attention. Very
Right.
much. This exercise is, and that's kind of how we started, I guess. We're saying attention to
And
attention.
all comprise into one single simple act.
Activity.
Wow.
Yes. And it's also
Perfect.
an activity of making the obvious obvious. In its most basic, and literal. But I'm just thinking of Donna, of Beena now, with her focus where her intent was on making the obvious obvious. We're saying, man, here's a powerful exercise for doing that.
That's why I wanted to share it. I knew.
Yeah.
Right when you said that, I'm like, ooh, maybe this will
Right.
apply.
And what's so
Share this.
fascinating? I love it, Donna. I just love it. What's so fascinating is yesterday we did this exercise with the department classes.
With what?
Oh yes.
Well, Amy came
yes.
on.
My
Bena's sister Amy, she came and joined the Zoom. Yeah, man, I can't wait for you to meet Amy. Just another, angel to love. So just magical. So
I can't wait too.
yeah. So Amy came
I told
on.
her about you, Donna. I
Oh,
told
good.
her about
Oh,
you. I shared with her.
good. Good. I can't wait for Amy to connect with Donna and Donna to
Oh,
connect.
yeah, she know her. She know her.
I know, but
very
I
well.
just feel there would be a magical connectivity there. I feel it.
You know, the first thing I showed her, look at her smile.
Brilliant.
Beena.
Anyway, so what I was suggesting, and I don't know why it came to me, is just in terms of, well, I asked Amy, I said, Amy, the Beena that you've been seeing for the last week or two, since that conversation with Lubna and everything shifted, the Beena you've been seeing the last week or two, is this the Beena that you've always seen and always known is just coming out more? She said, yes. And so anyway, that's how it started. So then I kind of suggested and recommended that they practice physically walking and standing and the composure deportment, in other words, kind of like finishing school deportment, that type of a thing, but just to do it in actual practice. And then they tried a couple of different walks, like a walk like a power walk, or a different type of a walk like a princess, walk like a CEO, whatever. And they were doing this, and then to articulate and also to express, like if Amy was walking, Beena says what she's seeing. So it's kind of the same process to spell it out and put it in detail. So it's just exciting from an attention point of view that, it's that the same thing happening. It's very powerful.
Yeah, that is very powerful. I would offer caution on something, and this is just from my perspective, and it goes to things are not always what they seem. I had a conversation with somebody, and I was seeing a lot of energies flowing back and forth, and kind of some visions coming through my head as far as words and symbols. And so when that happens and it's a little too much, I look down and it stops the visions. And so the person lifted my head, and their perception was that I was sad and I wasn't confident. And that was the farthest thing. I was really not sad. And I was feeling extremely confident in our conversation, both things.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't know. And I experienced that again today in Jazzercise this morning, where I get in my flow and I get in my groove, and I can almost float away. And the instructor was like, slow down. And I'm like, oh, who's she talking to? Oh yeah, it was me. So I was looking in the room, and there was lots going on. So I had to look down, and then there was a comment made later about being sad. And sometimes people think I'm sad. That comes up often. And I'm totally opposite of that.
Wow. I have a suggestion, maybe, in terms of that looking down. Okay, so I'm doing my thing and I look down. Okay. Now, what's the difference now? I need to be square. So is that, see, I'm looking down, right? Now, okay, that has a cueing of potentially sadness. But now I'm going to look down.
Oh, just look at the side, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Right now?
You see the change in mood though. I'm looking down. Well, what are you looking at? Oh, I'm sad. What are you looking at? That's it. You see what I'm saying? So it
Yeah,
just,
maybe I'll try that.
yeah, it's very simple. Sometimes, you know, when it comes to visual cueing, it's very simple, very, very, very simple. So, yeah, because really the
Well,
point
even
for
like
you is
walks, I have to look down sometimes if I'm in a groove or in a mode,
right,
and there's
right,
a lot coming at me from a visual
right,
standpoint.
right.
That's the only thing so far I have found that will sort of ground me in
Yeah,
that second,
right.
so I'm
So,
not floating
right.
around.
But I mean, even when you're walking to, I can turn my head, but I'm still looking forward. You
Right,
see what I mean?
right.
But it
Yep.
just the angle of the head makes a difference. That's
Yeah,
very interesting.
I just want us to not, I guess us being us, me, I want to bring to my attention caution, I guess, is the whole thing here, because perceptions and what you perceive are not always what it appears. So,
I love that.
you know, for me, I just really want to make sure, like, I guess when you were talking about walking, and, you know, some people's walks are looking down. Oh, they're not very confident. Some people's walks are very deliberate and fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's reasons for things, and
Yes. In
so
other words, sometimes the obvious really isn't actually obvious.
exactly. I just really felt pressured to say that. Since we
all
were
right,
so
all
focused on the obvious being the obvious, sometimes it's not.
All right, so let's make a pact and let's make a setting to say that if we perceive a mood, we check it.
Yeah. If we're big enough to do that.
We are. What do you mean we are? No, well, I mean with each other. So if I'm saying I see or feel or hear a mood, well, hopefully Beena's camera will be sorted fairly soon. And, you know, if I say, okay, Donna, that looks like, or I don't know, I'm not even going to assume what the mood is. I'm just saying how you feeling. That's it, just to check. You know what I mean? Just ask. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I just think it needs to be tempered. For me, I'm only talking about me. I have, this is one of my main intents, is since I used to be very visual and would jump to conclusions and judgments.
Yeah.
And now when I emphasize the obvious being obvious, I just need for me to temper it with the feeling, so that it's a combination of what I'm seeing and the feeling, so I can come up with a more accurate of what's really going on. That attunement factor has to be there.
Wow.
And when I jump too fast, the attunement like doesn't have a chance to catch up, and if I react instead of respond, I get myself in a situation that doesn't serve me well.
Right. So you know how we practice reading the pictures?
Right.
Now let's do the same with reading each other.
Yeah, that would be a good practice.
Yeah, that's a very fun practice because, you know, we know how we feel internally, but we don't necessarily express it externally. And I feel you on this, Donna. I'm the same way. You know, I'll be quite happy and joyful, and then it's like, you look sad or you look whatever, and you look angry or aggressive or whatever. I'm none of those things. So in other words, what I'm putting, visually appearing, it's not how I'm feeling.
It is kind of a theme. Like, because people ask me why you are sad. I'm not sad, but yes, it is my facial expression, or I thought that it is my features, which feels like I'm a bit sad. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that same perception of sadness.
For example, I have a mouth that the corners will go down, so it naturally looks like I'm sad. I've had this my whole life.
Well,
like
we have to, right. So by externalizing it and getting the feedback from each other, you know, us three here, then we can maybe figure out a way how to adapt that and visually externalize, to just reassociate sometimes our feelings with different expressions. That'd
Well,
be
I'll give
fun-
you an
be fun
example.
practice.
Yeah, I used to practice this a lot more when I was in the professional world. I don't know why, but I'd be in meetings, and because I am so sober and I crinkle my eyebrows when I'm listening intently, people would think I was, imagine that. People think I was like ornery or something, which I can't
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
But
I love that.
but I didn't necessarily want to be that.
Right, right,
And then I would like, because my mouth goes down, people
right,
would say, you look so sad or you look so mad. So
right.
I became aware of that. So I deliberately would try to like do these exercises with
I
my
love it.
eyebrows.
I love it.
And I wouldn't.
Right. And I
Wouldn't
think
sit
I
there
think
and
this
laugh.
is I think this is a fantastic exercise because it goes to our cueing and it goes to
Right.
our appropriateness of being, because it's
Right.
very difficult to get. I mean, I look in the mirror, I don't see what you see. So us having this, because we have this opportunity and this ability and this fundamentally magical gift of being really honest with each other, now we can get feedback and we can start to reassociate our external expressions with our internal. And I think this is a very, very, very powerful skill.
For me, it was the next step in the process. First, I had to
Yes.
like mindful, then I had to create my own. How do I get in the moment? I'm still working on staying in the moment. And then I want to have the outward expression kind of, emulate what's going on internally. So it was just a flow. And I'm, working on all of that.
Yeah.
But so anyway,
Yeah.
for me,
No.
that's how it presented itself.
Oh, it's so incredibly magical. Wow. 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 Just amazing, and just how in that emphasis, how, everything came together all in one shot. So, that's very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. Okay. As a project going forward, specific techniques. I have a file somewhere of specific techniques, and I'm going to add this verbalizing. And I think there's a module in a session in it somewhere where we'll add it. Specific techniques for mood management, but we'll do this because this really is it's not just a mood management.
It's a multifaceted process.
It's mood management, awareness management, intent management. It's everything. It's a self management. It's an independence of being management. Very exciting.
That's another concept I'm working on: independence of being and what that means to me.
Yeah,
I'm not quite. I don't have clarity on that yet.
All right, so B2, and I work on this daily, and I was just thinking of that actually 2 seconds ago, right as we said this, because this working on independence of management and mood management, the independence of being at least, it is. What I was saying, staying in the moment you were talking about, and that triggered me. I said, I can stay in the moment and be aware and be mindful. Like in our conversations, it's not a problem. But sometimes I'll end up in a conversation and it's just like something will happen and it's like it almost like just sucks my awareness away. And I get in like a tunnel, like in a vacuum. And I'm aware of it at the time enough to at least not get completely lost to it. But it's still, I don't understand exactly how that happens, so.
Yep.
So that's for me the independence of being. It's about the deliberate choice. So when I am in a situation where I lose deliberate choice of feeling, of thinking, of acting, of being, that's when I lose my independence of being. You see what I mean? Okay. So it's kind of in the reverse, like a reverse thing to say, okay.
An opposite. Imagine that.
Yeah. Philosophy of opposite. Exactly. Oh, man.
I should get a tattoo of that.
Yeah, exactly. And we only start.
Get back to the module.
No, it's cool. We only started on philosophy of opposite. We, I want to go back into that at some point, but it's very important. Very, very important. But we'll get there. We get there. I'm trusting the power of attunement and us going through things the way they come. It's very exciting to me. Very exciting. It's just magical. All right. This course, the live takeaway sessions and the Facebook group is a place where we are different. Very important. And we're doing that right now. And in this, what we just said, we're going to give each other feedback on how we can be a different, just in just feedback in general. That's also by implication, we are being different. We can come into the session and say, hey, you know what, today I'm practicing feeling powerful. I don't know, just for argument's sake, and say, okay, and then you give me feedback. But again, where we are different and where we leverage each other to transcend the folly of our habits and move towards new habits and ways of being, and thus new ways of living, which is exactly everything we've just been talking about and doing right here. We are implementing it. Thank you very much, module. Yes, check. I can put a big check mark there. Doing, done, in process. It's happening already. You'll perpetually examine your intent. Each and every action and interaction, question, comment, etc., will always be evaluated as to what its intent is. And I think we do this on a regular basis also, yes? We are continually examining our intents, yeah, aren't we?
Oh, not on this level, like question, comment, etc., interaction, every action. Yes, I do, but not like at this level. No,
All right. So,
it's still not getting there.
yeah. Well, I think so. It might not be consciously deliberate in terms of like, what's my intent now? But I think on the underlying, this has become a habit that just intent is whatever we are doing, we are continually in the constant process of evaluating it. Not maybe specifically and consciously and deliberately, but it's there in the background. That program is always running. Feels like it.
Okay.
I mean, I see it in both you and Donna. Very much. Exactly. Look at that in Donna's exercise. Isn't that an exercise of
Oh yes. Oh yes.
You see what I mean? And you making the obvious obvious. It's all about, it's by implication you are looking at intent, no? Not?
Oh yes, but this is what this paragraph is saying, that stating that you will perpetually examine your intent, each and every action and interaction, question, comment, etc. will always be evaluated as to what its intent is. I might be on this, like, no, not might be. Yes, I am on this path, but not there yet.
Okay, so you want to ramp it up to make it more deliberate.
Yes.
Okay, and that's a good intent. Yes. Yeah. That's very powerful. That's very
I
powerful.
want to make it deliberate, but I want to make it fun.
Yes.
That slide, knowing myself, the Miss A that I have, if I could get caught up in missing the whole boat by evaluating and analyzing everything. So I have to temper that kind of stuff personally.
Well.
I got to keep the joy and playfulness in there. I really, for me, and I can only speak for me on this one, but play is really showing itself to be very, very important. Like almost like being a child again.
Yes. But you know why that's also important? It's because when we get to that play, that childlike fun, it is also a mechanism for unhooking from self-importance.
Well, I'm definitely unhooked then, because I'm just a big child. How about you?
Same here, exactly. I agree. Oh, Beena, I know Beena is. Yeah, Beena is very much so.
I know she is too.
Yeah. But look what I added there, Donna.
Oh, what?
Look on the slide.
Thank you. I think,
there you go. We adapt.
I feel like that's imperative for everyone. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh, I agree. Oh, that's why I've added it to the. This is part of why I want to go over the program to adapt and add in. Like I'm going to add in that the thing of the verbal articulation when we come to that particular session. Then I'll add that in. So, yeah. Very powerful. So yeah, we're gonna adapt and update as needing. We'll be instituting a few conventions which are valuable and useful for our purpose and to leverage us, especially via emphasis such as capitalizing the power words and hyphenating. It's a discipline, and through that we train the brain so as to be important to us along with other benefits. Okay, so this is just when you're making the notes, just to use and writing. It's just a simple little thing. to do that, because it helps for that same emphasis again, same deliberateness. And essentially what you are doing in the verbal articulation, you are capitalizing in a sense what you are doing. It's very powerful. It's really amazing.
One of the things I tried at work, and I don't know if it's a coincidence or if there's any value behind it, I had been exposed for a few days in a row a concept pretty consistently, which in that I step back and try to look at those, because there's usually a reason.
Yeah, it's attunement right there. That's attunement, Donna.
So it was about theta and beta and alpha brainwaves. So at work, I put them in the background. I think it was theta. And then I deliberately, like whatever I was working on, I used the same shower approach. So even if it was something that could be very mundane, like, I don't know, filling out a form, which I'm, does that bring me passion and joy? No, not really. So I'm sitting there and I'm filling out this form, and I'm really I have the theta beats and beta beats or whatever I had that day going on in the background. And then the next day I didn't. And my focus, I was able to focus much deeper when I had those beats going on. So I don't know. So it was, I kind of am playing around with that. When you talk about training the brain, how do we train the brain? That's where it came from. Okay, people say that. So, okay, what exactly does that mean? Train the brain. I want to know specifics. What's the process?
For me, training the brain is emphasis, attention management, focus, intent, all of those things, conscious deliberation. That's for me how we train the brain, and association management. So this is very powerful. So we want to hear more details on the brain waves. Do you play them while you're working? You can hear it like music?
I do, yeah. I just put it on my computer as a background.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So by the way, on the forms can be a powerful mechanism, a meditation mechanism for quieting the mind, for silencing the internal dialogue.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So very powerful leverage.
It all goes together. I think there is something about how our brains work.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to know more.
Right. So which of the waves? There's theta, beta, and delta, right? Theta. Okay, that makes sense. Interesting.
It helped. I was really focused, and it was easier for me to bring in a feeling of joy filling out a very mundane form. And I'm not, that is not my passion, is to sit at a desk and fill out forms. That's the opposite. Right. So I found it interesting that it helped me pull that old out and then pull the new in, and I still was able, so I don't know. It felt like there was something there.
Oh, hell yeah. And you developed a new ability. Yes, it might not in the past have been an activity which you could find joy in, but that's part of independence of being. When we can find joy in doing anything. Because we are feeling joy. If I'm feeling joyful and I'm feeling happy, I don't care what the hell I'm doing. Anything brings me joy. That's independence of being.
Huh.
That right there is independence of being. Because your joy is not dependent on anything else. It is only on you. It's independent. Okay. That's it right there. So look how that filling in the form has led to this profound realization and connectivity, no?
Yeah. And when I lose that independence of being it, I lose it within the independence of myself.
Exactly. And this is what I want to develop an intent to. It's what happens that causes me to lose it. And I do believe
it's not the external force, and it's not the external situation.
No,
it absolutely not.
It's a shift of our focus and our intent. In other words, it's a belief that says, in certain circumstances, I need to put all of my attention elsewhere, outside of my independence bubble. And that is a mistake, I feel.
See, what you just said, I have no idea.
Okay, so I'm in independence of being, right? I'm filling out my form and I'm joyful, and I'm focused on being joyful. The activity itself doesn't make any difference.
Right.
All right. So
There.
sometimes things come from externally, and it says, "Pay attention to me," and I have a belief in me that, oh, this is important. I need to put all of my attention on here. Right. In other words, let's say
Okay,
somebody.
wait. So help me here. So like I'm sitting there and I'm doing my form and the theta music's going on and I'm focused on the form and I'm like singing, having a good time filling out mundane form. Cool. That's an independence of being. Okay, I like that. Thank you for that. Helps me like connect.
Yes. So
Connect.
now,
Okay.
now.
So then, wait.
Oh, sorry.
Be patient with me.
Sorry. No problem.
So then a person like my boss comes
Yes.
in and he brings in that energy and he's like, I'm going to sue the shit out of this.
Right.
Which happens, right? And so I'm like, sometimes I'm like, okay, boss. And I have to say this in my head. Go ahead. I'm going to stay in my joyful state.
There you go. You're deliberately maintaining independence of being.
And sometimes I can do it. But then sometimes I'm like, will you get out of my office and take your negative, nasty energy and your ego and everything else out? And then I pop out of my...
There you go.
So, wait. I just connected it. So when I do that, that's what you're talking about. There's a belief within me that takes me out of my joyful, I'm filling out a form bubble into this, I got to give this jerk my attention. No,
exactly. Or I've got to deal with him in a particular way, or I have to say fuck off or whatever. I'm sorry, Beena, but that's important, to think that we have to fix it.
Because he knows me.
Right.
It's exactly what I think.
It's contextually appropriate. Yes, exactly.
I'm just being real, Beena. I'm sorry.
Right. So, but it's important in this case because we feel like we should do something with it.
Right.
And sometimes that should, it's actually a part of our innate belief of paying respect to things. So when somebody comes in this way and let's say the boss directly addresses you and he turns that energy onto you, now I feel I have to respond to this in a particular way, and that belief, this is what sucks us out of our independence of being. It's that default. That default have to. It's not a have to, it's a choice. I can decide and choose. We want to have a default to the choice.
Okay. Here's the next step to that. Okay. I'm with you. Stay with me. So the boss comes in and he starts, saying that kind of stuff.
Right.
Or let's shift it a little bit for something that impacts me. Let's say he continually doesn't give me what I need to get my job done. He literally doesn't give me information. Okay, let's look at that from a gazillion different perspectives. In my mind, I feel as though I have to address that because it impacts me and I can't do my job. Yeah. And I can either respond with frustration, which I used to all the time. I could get mad, which I used to all the time. Now those two have pretty much gone, but I still feel like, dude, what the heck? Give me what I need to get my job done.
Right.
So what would be your choice of behavior in that situation?
Okay. So for me, the behavior here would be mathematical. I say, what the hell? So what are you talking about? And well, I changed the language there for Beena. See? In the moment. So the mathematics is when you have an equation, E equal mc squared, we can rearrange from one side, right? So if I take the m and I put it on the other side and I bring the e back to the other side, I get e equal, m equal e divided by c squared, right? So, right. But it's that point that we can go to the other side of the equation and change things there. It's not always just one-sided. So in this case, you are saying, hey, boss, give me what I need to do my job. The assumption on the one side of the equation is do my job properly, right? But we can change that. So if I'm not getting insufficient information, change the goal, change the intent, change the objective to say, well, okay, I'm going to now shift to not doing my job in the best possible way. I'm going to now do my job less efficiently. Well, because I'm doing it appropriate to the information I'm given. And therefore, I don't get stressed because I've changed my objective.
Wait. Okay, I got to say this. I'm there. Okay, I just have to shift this a little bit. So I'm with you, but here's my words. I'm just going to be real. What the hell, dude? You didn't give me what I needed? Okay, fine. I'm just not going to do my job.
Exactly. I'm just not going to do my job in the best possible way.
Okay, you did it with diplomacy, which I have to work on.
Right. But you just say, okay, fine. I'll just do it. I'll just do it appropriate to the circumstance. That's it.
Okay, but I'm being very direct here.
Yeah. Only way to be.
I have to shift the words I'm using to be appropriate, and I have to be diplomatic. So the outcome is different because what I'll feel, okay, no, listen, I know you know what I'm saying, but I have to say this out loud. So I can sit there and say, dude, you didn't give me what I needed, so therefore I'm going to sit here, I'm just not going to do my job. Okay, that feeling is not appropriate. That feeling does not allow diplomacy, right? And that feeling is not what I want. Or I can say, okay, let's look at this. It is what it is. What I'm going to choose to do is do the best job that I can with the information he gives me, and then I'm going to let it go. And I try to practice that, but I'm not there yet. But that feeling in those words has appropriateness, has diplomacy.
It does. It does. And that's what I was getting at, is to not do your job, but to do it kind of half-heartedly, or half-hearted is the wrong word, to do as best you can with the limitations at your disposal. So basically, I know,
but your words are so high for me. I'm learning that I have to take them down to my realistic, everyday interactions so I can apply. Pardon?
Not up to the mark performance. Just not giving up to the
and be okay with that, because there's nothing I can do about it. I can't make him give me the information I need. And I realize that at some level, but I just need to consistently flip it so that the choice is there and I can be appropriate when I think it through to the end. I have to think it through to the end, use diplomacy, and use what's appropriate in the context of that situation consistently. Not sometimes, not most of the time. I want to do it consistently.
Right. Two other thoughts here that I have. Sometimes mediocre is okay. Does that?
That's really hard for a perfectionist.
Exactly. But actually, then switch it. Right. Sometimes the perfection is to be mediocre.
Right. I have been doing that.
Okay. So the other thing is that there's an assumption and also a false belief somewhat built in here, in this, that your boss isn't giving you the information now, but he might give it to you later. So you just say, well,
he doesn't.
Okay.
It's not a false assumption.
Oh, okay. All right. So he never gives it at all, ever?
There are certain situations where he has to do funding instructions, and I would say 9 times out of 10, I don't get them. So there is a basis for that assumption, for sure.
All right.
That's valid.
Right. But we have a bunch of assumptions. So what I was trying to make the point is to shift it into time, to say, I can't do this now. And when I get the information, I'll do it then.
Right. That's a good point, because you're staying in the moment and you're just like right now in this situation.
Exactly. I can't do it now because I don't have the information now. You might never get the information, and that's okay. But for the bureaucrats, they can say, oh, we don't have the information. We can't do it now. Now. The now is the key.
And then I'm not setting the intent and throwing out there that he's going to respond.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, I got
and
it.
you're not cueing him. So, okay, I'll do it.
That's the word, cueing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're cueing to say, oh, okay, I'll do it when I get the information.
Period. And
right,
leave it
period.
at that.
Plus, the additional thing onto that is, if you do not get the information, the priority of the value of that task changed. To say, well, okay, I didn't get it, and let's say it's time sensitive, and that time's gone. Well, it wasn't as important as what I thought it was. And my boss has reevaluated the importance, and he no longer deems it needed to be done, so I don't need to do it.
That's cool. I like that.
Right. So, well, okay, I'm happy to do it. You give me the information, I'll do it. If you don't give me information, obviously it's not as important to you. Now, to realize on a sophisticated level, he might just put out there for his own self that, okay, do this, and he's feeling like he's accomplishing stuff, but it doesn't actually have to be done. He just likes to create the impression that things need to get done. So just help him in him feeling busy and important and all that. So that's part of your job, is to help him feel busy and important and valuable, etc.
That's not part of my job.
Why not?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's me at all.
Well, I mean, it might be what he believes is part of your job.
Well, that's his limited belief.
I'm just saying, that in terms of, in this way, you can say, okay, part of your job is just to say, yes, I will do it. And okay, you will do it, but you just can, by implication, when I get the information. You just don't have
Beena,
to
does this relate
verbalize that.
to you at all? Can you?
Oh,
Is this good for you?
Actually, yes. This is what Alan actually suggested, my friend. He said, okay, what about today's Beena, your first day? I said, okay, yes. He said, try to not stand out. I said, okay, why
Try
not?
to what? I'm sorry?
Try not to stand out.
Okay.
And not to be prominent here by giving your best. And I said, okay, how to do that? He said, Beena, you know that the workplace is like a honeybee comb, and everybody is working together, and whoever gonna stand out will be thrown out. So just be with them. So don't give your best shots.
Interesting.
Just be appropriate, in other words.
Wow.
So this is what he was saying just before this session started today.
Wow. How about that?
These words. I can read his messages for you, so you can understand in what words he said.
Yes, I would love to hear that, if that's okay.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes, I'm reading. I said, another suggestion from Alan? ? I said, yes, please. He said, do not talk with other workers there about anything except the work you are doing, no criticism or insights, and just, all caps, just do what you are asked to do, hour by hour and day by day. This will be noticed, and what a good corporation wants and needs from a loyal worker. See? I said, okay.
Very
interesting. It is like a colony of bees working hard to make the honey. No single bee can stand out, and every bee is working for the good of all the bees. This will be noticed first and last. I said, okay, I'll zip my mouth for other than not anything but work. He said, oh yes, that is it. All caps it.
Interesting.
And I said, okay, but no matter how I interact, somehow I am different there.
Yes. You can't not be yourself. So
yeah. So he says, jobs are hard to find these days everywhere. And in Pakistan, which is still in a precarious situation, teamwork based on individual effort is golden. Wow. Yes, you are different there, but if you are there, just do your best. Today, just now, I wrote a short memorandum about this day in 1963 when John Kennedy was assassinated. And I was doing work that I was not trained to do. But like you are doing now, I taught myself to do just for the money. And I did it to the best of my ability, no matter what. And do not regret it at all, because for me, it was something new to learn about. And also to measure my ability to learn something new and do it well. See? I thought, okay. And he said, people make mistakes, but universe makes no mistakes and lead us down to the road sometimes in unusual and unexpected ways.
Yes.
So get done, and then he suggested, okay, get plenty of sleeves and all these things. So exactly just few minutes before this session, when I came back home, I sent him a message that, okay, I'm home and this is what I have done today. This is what happened there today. And he said, Beena, don't stand out. Don't give your best.
Interesting. Sometimes the opposite is true. So I'm not always sure if that's a blanket.
He's saying today, just for like nowadays,
right,
not like always, but yes.
Right. But anyway, it's just
remember what happened with me when I was assisting.
Yeah.
So that's why he's saying that. I think in that context also.
I got you. Yeah, it's just again be appropriate. Whatever the circumstances, be appropriate.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And which applies to not getting enough information as well. Just be appropriate.
Yes.
If you can't do it, you can't do it. That's all. You just wait until you do get it.
Sometimes managers, directors, CEOs just enjoy to be in the power and controlling position by not giving full information and just showing us that, okay, that's why you're employed. I am the one who will tell you everything.
Right. I mean, even though it's self-defeating, it's like not really because, whatever, and again, if you just shift it to not putting any value judgments on it.
Okay.
But to simply say, well, I'll do it as soon as I get the information. And you just shift it in time. Okay. So that's it. And if by the time you get the information or you never get the information, it doesn't matter. It's on the never. Okay, I'll do it in the year 30,000. All right. If I get the information then, I'll do it then. It's just the bureaucrats say, okay, I'll do it when I get the information, rather than saying, I can't do it because I don't have the information. Very simple.
What is a growth opportunity for me in those situations is, it used to be I wouldn't feel good about myself because I didn't feel like I was doing my job.
Right. But
and
then
it took me, and I'm still working on that, where it's like, you're saying shift it, you'll do it when you can do it. But for me, it had a little more depth.
Yeah.
It was the ego saying, oh, but you want to be perfect, and you want to do your job well. And there was still a part of me that wanted to create that feeling of satisfaction and the whole work task.
But that still can be there. That doesn't have to shift. It's all we have to do is just refigure the conception of what it is to be perfect. And in this case, the fact that your boss isn't giving you that information means for him that for some way he sees you doing it in that way. So your perfect job would be to do the things when you get the information. That's being perfect.
Right. Yeah, I know. And then I think with Beena's situation, what I'm taking away from that is Beena naturally is different. And he's just saying, be yourself, but step back, and perfection doesn't always need to be there.
Right.
And just do the best you can in that situation, being you.
Right.
Let the rest go.
Right. Yeah.
That's my takeaway. Anyway.
Yeah. And I think he's saying be careful of unwanted attention. Just, like if you stand out too much, you make yourself a target.
Yes.
In the circumstances there, which can very much be so. Now, you can be a target because you got other employees, but also, if you're standing out, it looks like you're trying to curry favor, and that also can. So there's lots of reasons to not do that. So they just from a strategy point of view, can be sensible, but depends.
Strategy can be so interesting to establish so that it's balanced. It's like you want to be yourself, and you just are different, and you accept that. And then it's like leveraging that difference. How do you do that? That's effective for everybody.
Exactly. And then you've got to know what your goals or motivations are. I mean, if you're there just to do a job, fine. If you're there because you want, like in Beena's case, it's a temporary job. Beena is looking for a permanent job potentially at the Arts Council, right, Beena?
Yes.
You see, so you have an extra intent, but I think that intent has become somewhat ameliorated and modified, that it's like, okay, if it happens, I'll go with it, but it's not something that you are looking for so earnestly anymore, so hard and fixed.
Actually, what happened today, that I shared with you, and I was so excited, and I was trying to do everything, like, okay, law of attraction, apply law of attraction, law of assumption, everything. just to be there to get a good job at Arts Council, a permanent job. But now when I went there, I actually feeling nothing excited about it. I was like, okay, a bit sad also. That, okay, yes, I am coming here, and I will be here, and I will not be in position to spend my time on these things. What I was doing like for 3 months now. So it was making me sad.
But there's other stuff that's come into your life that has a higher priority and has more value for you. Like, when Donna, you know what came to me when Donna said, oh, the Urdu conference, and it's an international deal.
Yes.
The first thing that came into my mind, I said, oh, here's your ticket.
Exactly. I had that feeling too.
Here's your ticket to America. Okay, that's interesting. See, Donna jumped to the same thing. And, for me, just in terms of how Beena is, who Beena is, her moreness, coming to America just seems like a foregone conclusion for me at any rate. I don't know. Just seems to be. That's just, just where you can be the fullness of who you are, There's a lot of magic. So I don't know. It's just the possibility.
I'm just sharing.
At least temporarily, not necessarily permanently, but temporarily.
Because I really don't know. I was not actually getting why I was feeling sad. I am saying right now because now I'm feeling good. I'm feeling happy. So that's why I'm saying that I was missing this. But I was actually feeling that I might miss all these things. So that would be the feeling. Maybe, I guess. But yes, I was feeling sad. I don't know. It was something like I was not feeling excited. I said, okay, I will do. It is not like I'm not going to do that. Yes, I will do.
Right. But it's staying alert, paying attention to attunement, seeing what comes. If there's some kind of a pressure on something, you say, okay, go with it. Look like the thing with the Arts Council, it came to you, right? And you just had to, you couldn't really say no, could you?
No, I don't want to. Because,
exactly. But even if you didn't want to, just in terms of circumstances and situation.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Beena, when you shifted, okay, what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm off. Mm-hmm. When you shifted in going into the Art Council and doing your task there, from it being a focus of really working outside of the box and giving it your all and seeing it as a potential for a permanent position, there was excitement for you in that. And then when you shifted that to not necessarily having that be your intent, there was sadness that came over you when you shifted that intent. Okay. Am I hearing that correctly?
Okay. Let me say it again. It was like in last year. The first time was last year on 24th of November. I went to Arts Council first time in my life, and that was my first ever work outside my home. And I go and I actually present myself, and I said, okay, apply for job. It was a temporary job, but I applied that, and I said, I insist that I only want to do the paid work, because this is what Ellen suggested. At Beena, no more free work, because I have done a lot of free work. So he said, no more free work, Beena. You will go there and you will say that I only want the paid work. I said, okay. And I said, I just followed his suggestions, and I got the job, and I did my best. And they keep calling me again and again. And I'm the only one from volunteers' point of view. I'm the only one Arts Council just continuously asking to come over again and again. So, and after that, I did so many events, and last one was the assistant for a stage theater play. And till then, I was like very, very excited about that. Okay, yes, I was a bit disappointed because everybody was saying, other than the employees, that they were saying that, okay, Beena, you are going to be permanent here because everybody's talking about you. How you do that, how you all these things, I did a lot of things. And actually they were asking me for treat. Okay, you will gonna give us a treat. And I said, okay. But somehow things didn't work out in that way. And when I came home, and just the very next day, I saw the post from this sassy group, or maybe from directly from SIL for the post-meeting testers. And I said, okay, let's see. He was my friend. Like SIL was my friend before, but
How we came to be friends, I have no idea, by the way.
I have no idea too. But and I was a member of that group. I don't know how, but anyways. So I got this, and I said, okay, I want to try. But when I read that it requires some payment also, I said, no, I'm not in position. So I said, okay, I want to do that, but I can't afford that. And so he said, okay, now there are so many ways to toast or a pancake or something like that. And I said, okay, and we figured it out somehow, that how things will happen. And I actually did that jumping on my mattress, and I was like, wow, I got something. And from that day, I saw so many like ups and downs in this thing, and it was so depressing. It was so upsetting. But now, like after, from April, from April, now it's been like 4-5 months. Now when I go there, they call me again for this Urdu conference. I feel no excitement there. I feel like, okay, a bit sadness that, what I'm doing here, why I am coming here. So it is like, okay, I actually start missing that. I was feeling that I might miss my way of impeccability and my work and my routine and everything. So now you get the whole idea about what is happening.
Yep.
All right, so here's the original post, by the way. And Beena, this post, I was doing another course at the time anyway, and this is somebody else who used this and said they got really profound results from it. So I messaged them and said, can I use it? And I just made a few changes, very minor ones, but really it's not my words, which is very important. Yeah, because, I'll personally teach you. I thought, okay, I'm just going to give it a shot and try it, because I tried various things and nothing added anything. And so my intent was to connect. So, okay, I put all this in here. So it worked. But, I added my own picture, my own quote here. This is actually from the book. We first have to identify the depths of a problem before we can solve it. When we realize we can add to the world, change the world, contribute positively to the world, simply via being aware, we undergo a profound moment of personal empowerment. Yeah, noble. So anyway, but I wanted to look up real quickly to see 18 May, to see if I posted this in the group or in my timeline. So sorry, just a little divert.
Yeah, because Donna, we are so curious about how we become friends.
Right. So now I can, now that I know the date like that, it's a bit of detective work here. I like this kind of detecting. So 20.
I do it all day long.
I know. I love it. I was just going to say, Donna's like real expert at this. Very exciting. Okay. 19 May. So
it's not me. It's just like something, a vision or a word or something will pop, and I'll have this feeling of, okay, check this out.
I love it. I love it. And that's very important, is when those little things come, to follow up on them, because that's living in attunement. You asked that earnest question about living in attunement and what it means, Donna. And I'm kind of answering that question on a regular basis. That's why you keep hearing me say attunement, because I'm answering that question. Because you said, I don't know what that means. Well, this is what it means. When you have a little thing that comes your way and you follow up on it, that little thing is like the attunement. It's like a little, and it like connects and triggers inside you. Say, okay, I follow up on this. And then you look into it more. That's part of living in attunement. It's not all of it, but it's part of it. So yeah, Beena, look, and 16 May and, 19. So it's not on my timeline. So you did see it in the group. Now you may have seen it on the page for whatever reason, because likely I shared it on the page. I don't have an easy way to get there. But either way, though, it's still it's somewhat anomalous. Yeah, it's very strange.
I got a job once where
Uh,
I saw an ad in the paper, and when I went to the company, nobody in the company knew who put the ad. And they looked at me like,
wow!
what?
Wow! And so you
And
got the job?
Well, I was very persistent with it because something was pressing. It was
Attunement again.
It was with the sleep disorder center.
Oh, wow.
So
So
what you found, Sil? Sorry, I was not there.
I'm saying it was in the group. I didn't have that post for the beta testers on my timeline. It was only in the group, which I thought I remembered it was only in the group. I may have shared it to my to the page, but I don't know if you actually have liked the page or not. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's definitely not on my timeline. It's definitely in the group. So yeah, how you came to join that group, I don't know. So yeah,
Destiny, universe.
yeah. But it's
Secret
intent.
work.
It's intent manifestation. All right.
Oh
So
God, deliberate. It was like very specifically. Donna, if you are aware of the book named The Sophie's World, and that was the book inspired me, and I was actually dreaming about, oh God, how, actually not dreaming about, but my question was that, wow, how this could happen, this in the real world, that the girl living in almost a jungle, and somehow a philosopher just contacted her, and they start giving her lessons by mail, and she become his student, and start learning all these things, and it was like amazing idea for me, really fascinating.
wow.
And I was like, wow, how it happened.
Wow.
That was the question, Sil. Again, the question.
Wow.
what's the name of the book?
Sophie's World.
World, WORLD.
And
Yes.
it's Sufi or Sophie?
We call it Sophie. Maybe it is Sufi for you.
No. But it's
How do you
S-O.
spell it?
No saint. Just a girl name.
Yeah.
I know.
So
How do you spell it?
Sophie, I guess. Yes.
Okay.
PHI. Okay. Sophie. Yeah, that's Sophie. That's the name, Sophie. Yeah. So it's a girl's name, Sophie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sophie's World.
Yeah.
And who's the author?
I don't remember, because someone gave me a book in Urdu.
Don't worry, Donna's going to Google it in a moment. So she'll have an answer for you.
Justin Gardner.
What is it? Justin?
Justin Gardner.
Justin.
Jostein. Jostein.
Type it in chat, maybe.
Jostine. Jostein. And then what's the last name? Gardner?
Gardner. Okay, let me spell.
That's unusual, yeah, because it's Justine, not Justine. Jos is very unusual.
No, Justine Gardner.
Yeah, you have to type it, because I'm hearing. I'm not sure what I'm hearing is accurate, so it's very odd. It's an unusual name, sounds like. Yeah, Justine Gardner, 2 A's. Wow.
Yes.
Very unusual. And the Justine is also an unusual name. Both are unusual.
A novel about the history of philosophy.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. And I didn't get a chance to read that book completely, because someone gave to me, and it was in English, and it was really difficult at that time for me to read that completely. And I was just like, the way I do, like, okay, living with that book for 2-3 days, I just got some idea that what is the book about. And I was like, wow, what is this? And it was really amazing.
But you don't need to, Beena. The book served its purpose. It came, it generated the intent, it connected us, and that's it. And it's funny, you know, I mean, that's how I kind of think of myself more as a philosopher, I guess.
Oh, yes, exactly. Yes.
Interesting. So again, you don't have to go back to it. Yeah, it's interesting, yes, but that's it. It served its purpose. That's attunement. Things come, they come in the moment and then they go. They don't have this longer term continuity. They are now. Attunement is now. Very much so. Very powerful. Yes, I mean, sometimes your attunement can bring you to a point of making a decision that affects the future. But again, any decision, they always can be changed later and things change and shift. So, you know, nothing is ever fixed really.
Donna, there is something really funny about books and me. My relationship with books.
Oh,
So
well.
I just want to read and read. But somehow things are really interesting for me. Like Sophie's work, the book really inspired me. But I was not able to actually read that completely.
Wow. But that's
And
inspired you enough.
oh yes, and same with the Alchemist. When I bought that book, and I came home and I saw that the first 20 pages are turned up. Like, oh, missing. I said, wow. And I just throw it in the back of my bookshelf because it was useless for me. And after 2 years, that book just fell. And I said, oh, okay, again, there are 20 pages missing. Why I bought that? Why didn't I look at that at that time? And then I said, okay, Beena, you can read these 20 pages from Google, from YouTube, you can, or wherever.
Right.
And then after 2 years, I read that book. It was in my
Beena,
bookshelf.
wow,
Yes.
I have the exact same story. And
Wow.
you know who introduced it to me?
Ooh.
A woman, when I first got married, I worked with a woman in Miami, and her name was Sadr Hadar Ali.
Okay.
Saider Hadar Haider
Okay.
Ali.
Okay. It is Sidra Heather Ali.
Thank you.
Mhm.
She was beautiful. She so reminds me of you. And she introduced me to these concepts that I had never heard before. And I just would sit there in awe and like, oh, tell me more. And we were at work, so it was so hard, but I didn't want to work. I just wanted to listen to her. And she introduced this book, The Alchemist, and she said, we embody. I mean, we kind of, she had beautiful words. I'm not going to offer it, but it's like we are that. And I'm like, oh, you know, this was just like in the beginning. I have no idea what she was talking about, but I knew. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I knew.
Wow.
But I was like, what? In the physical, I was like, what? But then there was this, you know, oh yeah, you know, quit acting like you don't know. Just listen to her. I'm like, okay, I'll just listen to her. So I would listen, and she'd have beautiful words, and she would share this stuff, and I'd be like, oh, I want to be that. I want to understand that. So I did the same thing. I remember starting and looking at the book, and then I'm like, yeah. And then I'd stop, and I didn't. And then a couple of years later, I actually got it, just like your story. Exactly.
Wow. But you had the first 20 pages, I'm assuming.
What's that?
The first 20 pages were not missing in your book, I would imagine.
I don't remember them being missing. I just remember starting to read it and then stopping.
Wow. Fascinating.
Exact same story.
Wow.
Donna,
wow.
Did this happen to you also, that when you were reading that Alchemist, and for me it was like, okay, after just reading like 1 or 2 pages, I actually closed that book and I grasped like, oh God.
Wow.
Because I actually feel at that time, I feel that this book is like a life manual, because life never comes with manual, but yes, somehow that book, Alchemist, is a life manual.
Wow.
It's a very powerful book, yes. And I made a choice to close that book and not go down that path. And I chose Yeah, most definitely. I made a choice. It was too scary. It's too scary. Fear.
Wow. Wow.
In
That's very
that
significant.
choice, I went down a path of very conventional, and then I had children and got in that whole children and family
Wow.
bubble, and I headed down this path of very corporate and titles and money and living in a gated community and going to junior league and that whole bubble. And
Wow.
when I look at that, she was instrumental. She was like an angel. I mean, because it didn't make sense she was even there. We were in Miami, Florida. Everyone else in that entire building had a different orientation. They were from different parts of the world. I was from this small town in Indiana, and she was from Pakistan.
Wow.
And how we got to sit together in this tiny little room, and we were funding coordinators. Get the connection there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty magical if you look at everything I'm saying from the abstract.
Yeah. See, now again, you asked that question about attunement right there. See, that's part of attunement, is paying attention to the unusualness and to say, hello, this is a little kind of weird. I need to pay attention.
I will say, and I can't figure this out, that I've had people, Beena, a lot of people that have come into my life that have been a huge influence from your neck of the woods, as we call it. Yeah.
From the subcontinent?
From Pakistan.
Oh, specifically. Oh, not just from Pakistan and India. I thought you meant both, maybe.
No, from Pakistan.
Wow, that's very unusual.
My landlord is in that area right now currently, and his wife. And I had people that worked with me and back then for me, because, I was quote unquote the boss. But one was Sarika Parikh. Oh, she was another beautiful soul. And she reminded me of you when you were talking about your story, because Sarika was very, she was a customer service rep, and she had to sell products in a bank. So somebody would come in and they'd want a checking account, and Sarika would be able to go through and say, well, not only do you want a checking account, you want a savings account, and I can set you up with this. And she was magical at it, and she was really, really good at hearing the customer. And I used to sit there as her boss and say, I wanted her to share. I remember being in meetings and staff meetings, wanting her to share. How do you do that? And she would, and it would be magical, but people wouldn't hear her. They would just be like, yeah, we're going to listen to Sarika. She's good at sales and I'm not, yada, yada. They just couldn't see her beauty and her magic. So anyway.
Oh, man.
So that was just one story. And then, Miami.
So, I want to say one thing. I am just inordinately thankful that all the way it worked out, which brings you right here now to do what we are doing now. I just can't say how much this magic for me and how much I appreciate it. And thank you, universe. Thank you, universe. Thank you, all those choices,
Yes. And it is like I was rolling down from somewhere to here. I don't know, because I stumbled upon so many things. And somehow things were not actually happening the way I wanted them to happen. And look, I'm here, and I right now in this moment I can say that I feel super satisfied here. I feel super satisfied here. I don't want, like, in this moment I say I want something more than that. Not really. I just enjoy being here. That's it.
Exactly. Same here, because now it's like we're doing so much. It's like, man, oh, hey, little birdie, trying to fly in here, but you can't come in here. Anyway, so, we are doing so much on a daily basis. It's like there isn't enough time, but the stuff we are doing is so important, so incredibly magical and necessary. It's just huge, So, to me, I want to maximize every second that we have available. So talking about that, let's just go a little footy. Okay.
So I have to go now.
Yes,
because,
so I wanted to see how far we are from the end here.
Okay.
Okay, applying your power terms, you're doing that. You'll employ capital T trust. You'll constantly provide takeaways. You'll not only share. We've got 2 minutes, Beena, so leveraging your own. So yes, we're doing that. So your task is to write out in detail what you intend to accomplish. Okay, you're making your own personal posts. You're also doing that. Okay, there we go. So, all right, we're good. We're good. All right, that's brilliant. That's absolutely magical. Just a quick word. This evening, I likely won't be able to come on because Sher and Christina are going to be here at like 3, 4 o'clock. So I guess we'd be
Nice.
involved with that. So, you know,
Okay.
if they want to do something, maybe I'll just put on a Zoom and then, you know, organize
Okay.
it. So that we,
Okay.
you know, I'll put it in the living room on the laptop. So potentially we can do it that way. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, makes
It
it
will be fun.
exciting. All right, brilliant.
Thank
But
you
I'm
so
just
much,
saying,
Donna,
maybe
for
not,
being there.
maybe
I just
not.
love that. I just love
Yes,
that.
yes. What a magical thing, and just this whole idea. I got to really think about what Donna was saying. All the stuff, lots to integrate, Yeah, so
Yes.
very
Yes, for
exciting,
me.
very
Yes.
exciting.
Okay. Thank you
That
so much, Sil. Thank you.
yes. All right, bye
Gotta
bye,
go now.
Beena.
Bye, Beena.
Sleep deliberately.
Thank
Beena.
you.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Oh yeah. You are welcome. You are welcome. You just made my life so beautiful.
You did
Yes,
the same for me.
yes, yes. Oh, I can't say
I
how
just
much
love that.
I
I
feel
just
the
love
same.
that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Bye.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All
Brilliant,
right, I
brilliant.
need to scoot too. Actually, what a great
Yes,
place to stop.
yes,
Let's
yes. I
just
love
let
it. I
everything
love it.
simmer inside, right?
You know, and you saw my heart, Donna. That's what I want to just communicate. You and Beena and Olivia, it's just, that's like components of my heart. I don't know how else to say it.
Nice.
Magical molecules.
Enjoy your time with your guest.
Yes, yes, be
that'll be
interesting.
magical too.
Yes, yes. All right. We'll keep you. We'll stay. You know, I'll keep you informed as what's going on. But I just wanted to say that, you know, who knows what's going on to happen this afternoon. You know, we may go out or something. I don't know. So.
Sure. All right.
All right. Later.
Later.
Bye bye, Donna. Ah, what mate.